It's really loud too.
Yeah, let me check that. How about right now?
It's still too loud.
Already.
That's good.
You're in tune to your number one station with 98.3 FM, 1280 AM WJ. Wow, time stands as 8:31. We're going to switch over to Studio B and say good morning to you, fellow Michael Jenkins.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to PD Sports Wrap today. What a beautiful day we have outside. Last week was beautiful too, with the snow and the ice and the sleet. It was great. I loved it. Maybe that's why I didn't show up last week. I don't like driving on ice, and I don't like driving on snow. So I opted out, but I'm back this week, and we are about upon playoff time. And I just checked the calendar real quick just now, and it looks like the playoffs will begin a week from this coming Monday. But there is some business to be finished with the local teams here. We're going to talk about them. And I want to wish my little youngest granddaughter, Lena Hemingway, a happy birthday. And she's been a joy, even though she's not been exactly a joy to me because, man, this is a tough little shield to get through with this kid. I mean, she's liking me more, and she's aware of me. She calls me grandpa. My daughter tells me every time there's a knock on the door, they don't get a lot of visitors. Every time there's a knock on the door, the first thing she says is grandpa. So I know I'm in her head. Okay. But it's a joy to have her. It's a joy to have them all. It's a joy to be able to be here to see them all. But last night, in the city of Marion, a reverend came to visit. Reverend, meaning Reverend Sean Johnson. He of Britain's Neck fame. And, of course, Marion fame and Dillon fame. And Sean's been all over the place. He brought his team to Marion last night. And with both teams needing a win, they had beaten Marion down in Manning, which put Marion in the situation that they were in going into last night's game. Almost like a must-win situation that they were going to corral a number 2 seed. And that's really the key. Carl Brantley, good morning, sir. Excuse me, how are you? Miss Pamela Owens Speedy, how are you doing today, ma'am? Excuse me, but last night, Marion got off to a really good start. They mostly behind, let me see, where did I start with these things here? Okay. They started out the game, they won, they led by as many as 17. First quarter, they had a 21-15 advantage. They outscored Manning by 16-9 in the second quarter, and they took a 37-24 lead at halftime. Third quarter, Marion scored 17 points. They were outscored for only the first time during the game, as Manning picked up 18 points to cut the lead to 54-42. And then it got dicey. First of all, Marion, Roderick Dickerson there, off the bench, starter, power forward. He can do either one. He got 2 technical fouls early and was ejected from the game in the first half. That was huge. And he came on the floor like he always did, like a ball of fire. I mean, hit a couple of shots, made a couple of outstanding moves. This kid's got fire. And he's got to be on the floor for me. He's just a sophomore. And with him and Ian Goss and Jakari Brown and Jaden Nolan, this is the core going forward. They're all sophomores, except for Jaden. Jaden's a freshman. So that bodes well for the Swamp Foxes going forward. But let's take a deeper dive into where things are right now with them. Because I think they got at least one more game to play. Let's see. Okay. So the schedule says, well, first of all, Marion is 15-9 right now with a 7-3 conference record, and they have them in second place. Let's see. Let's skip forward here. So, according to the schedule, they have 2 more games. One of them being on the road and another one being at home. On the 10th, they are at East Clarendon. Of course, that's in Tuberville. And then they finish the season with a home game against Lake City. They got to win both of these games if they're going to hold on to that number 2 seed. The conference shapes up as follows. Muller's Auctioneers, top dogs, at 10-1, 18-7 overall. They are followed by Marion at 7-3. They have a game in hand, or they have a game lead over ACA. Now, you know what? This thing could have already been over if Marion had taken care of business back in December when they played Atlantic Collegiate Academy and had a huge lead and blew it and lost that game. And that kind of set the tone for the rest of this season, conference-wise. But ACA is the third team in the conference at 6-3. Manning falls to 6-4. East Clarendon is 3-6. So I mean, East Clarendon has won some conference games. These are not going to be gimmies. And I think Marion let their foot off the gas last night when they took the 17-point lead. And Manning, who's a very talented team, by the way, and they got Sean Johnson, the coach, who knows what he's doing. It could have been a problem last night if Marion had not won this game. Now, the game started, and Ian Goss really got them off to the great start last night. Because there was a sequence there where he hit 3 straight 3-point baskets. I think he banked 2 of them off the glass. So that's 9 points in a row. And then he hit a bucket plus 1, and he made the free throw. And he went on a personal 12-0 run against Manning last night. Now get this. At that point, Marion only had 13 total points, and he had 12 of them. He showed some things last night. I mean, he's been showing them all year. We need to do whatever we can to keep that kid here. Because I believe that next year and the preceding year, people are going to come here to see him. Yeah, I believe that. This is a 6'8", 6'9" kid, okay, with skills. Some people are going to want to take a look. So don't be surprised next season if you see some people at the games you don't know. They're probably going to be scouts. They would have to be looking to take a look. If they've gotten the word yet on this kid, he has all the tools. You know, like some big guys, you know, you can find all kind of things wrong with their game. Good morning, Miss Dolores Williams. How are you today? But I don't see anything wrong with his game at all. All I can see is upside. All I can see is this kid being dominant one day. And you know what? When a kid that tall is throwing up shots from long range, it kind of makes you a little bit nervous because you don't necessarily want them to be taking that path, even if they can shoot, and he can. You don't necessarily want to encourage him to go rogue on you. And he has confidence, and he has skill. And anyone that's seen him play last night or at all this year knows that He has all those things. So after that, Marion went into a swoon in the second half, and they still maintained the lead, but then it got really dicey down the stretch, where it got as low as 4. And this game was starting to look an awful lot like Atlantic Collegiate Academy game against Marion. But Dickerson was out of the game, and now I think in the fourth quarter, star player Charles White fouls out. Now things have gotten a little bit more dicey because it all revolves around him. He's the one who facilitates things. He's the one who makes aggressive plays to get buckets when they absolutely need buckets. But now he's on the bench. And Jaden Nolan finished the game for them last night, basically. He played probably the best game I've seen him play, ever. He's just ninth grade. But the way he played last night showed that he's grown up some. He's not afraid anymore. Yes, he still makes some mistakes. But his talent and skill level, plus his ability, plus he's not scared, that makes him a factor. Elliot Cross, good morning, sir. Elliot says he has a ton of potential, just not a lot of game experience. Him and Joshua Grant both are skilled. Yes. Yes, Elliot, you are correct. So, yeah. Jaden stepped up. The ball was in his hand a lot down the stretch. He made plays. He got buckets. He did everything that they needed to do for them to win. That's why I give him credit, him and Joshua, for closing the deal for Marion last night. If Jaden doesn't play like he played, we might be talking a different story this morning. So it's kind of odd because I was talking with his coach last night before the game, and we were saying exactly those things about how he has evolved since just last year. And then last night, and then when I seen him before the game, I said, "Hey, buddy, how you doing? You ready for this?" He said, "Yes, sir." He meant it. He said it with conviction. And then he went out there and did it. So that was a big plus for them last night as well. Joshua had his moments, but he made some big plays down the stretch as well. He's very talented. Not playing as well as he did early in the season. Hopefully that'll return. Hopefully that form will return as we approach playoff time. But he's a talent too, like you said. Ball handling ability, ability to get to the rack and finish. Maybe a little bit too loosey-goosey with the basketball last night because he lost a couple of balls, was stolen from him late, and can't have that. But I have every reason to believe that he is going to be very special for Marion next year. He's just a junior, so he'll be the guy heading up this new regime next year, these youngsters that are coming along. And the JV looks good too, by the way. Got some people on that team. Now, Marion's girl had a big win last night. And, you know, the last few games I've seen them play, their aggression, their hunger is definitely there. And I think that it will be foolhardy of anybody to sleep on these 2025, 2026 version of Swamp Foxes. Good morning, Damon Morrissey, my buddy. Long time no see. Daniel Weeks. How you doing, bro? Hope everything is coming along well for you. I know what you're going through. Been there. But you got that little grandbaby, pal. That's the replacement. My granddaughter was born about a few months after my mom passed away. We knew that she was a replacement. So, cycle of life, bro. Anyway, Swamp Fox girls are 14-10. That's respectable. 5-5, third in the region. They're gonna be in the playoff. Looks like. Let's see the full standings here. Atlantic Collegiate is the best team in the conference, along with King Street. Atlantic Collegiate is unbeaten right now. King Street is 10-1. And by far, to me, they are the best team in the conference. King Street is very good. Marion comes in at third. Lake City is good. Marion's got them again. They need to beat them this week. They're both at 5-5. Marion's at 14-10. Lake City is at 12-10. So, Angela, how are you, ma'am? Oh boy. Phone call messages here. So, now as I said about Lady Swamp Foxes, it's been their defense. They're all over the place. They're forcing and creating havoc the whole game. And basically that's how they win. Terrell, what's going on? Oh, no doubt, Terrell. That whole team. We've been watching these girls for the last couple of years. Some of them, I think, came from C.E. Murray. King Street is no joke. They're going to be a tough out. Thank you, Daniel. I'm kidding. Whatever. So, as I said, Lady Swamp Foxes are a defensive team. They've got some pieces. They string a couple of baskets together, along with that defense, and next thing you know, they're beating you. Okay? Malia Williams, Ayane Malloy, down the stretch, big shots were made. Malia loves to take over games down the stretch, and she did that again last night. She's all over the place. Hitting shots, diving on the floor, stealing, you name it. This team has grit. And I give that credit to their former coach, in some respects, Chris Sanders. I did shake the hand of the new coach last night and told her that I thought that she'd done a fine job this year, and she has. She knows basketball. This girl's been playing since she was a little tiny girl, playing varsity since 7th grade. She knows what she's doing. But, as I said, Swamp Foxes are in, or at least at this point it appears that they are. Mullins boys have been outstanding this year. And they continue to roll. They're at 18-7 right now. And they had a pretty good week as well. On the 30th, first of all, 27. Let's go back to the Lake City game. They beat Lake City 64-38. Absolutely devastated them. And then they hammered Manning in the rematch down there. And then they beat up on King Street 62-40. Beat Manning 81-60. Beat Lake City 64-38. And they have one game remaining. And that will be in Tuberville at East Clarendon. With Mullins, it's been the usual guys doing it. Deion Ford, KJ Ford, Dakari Worley, Amir Lee, and Braden Hughes. These are your primary guys that have been pushing the envelope for Mullins this year, and they're doing it very well. Mullins is going to be a tough out. I think Marion is a tough out as well. Ideally, what I'd like to see is Marion and Mullins on the Saturday before state championship for the lower state championship. That's what I like to see. They both have the potential to get there. Mullins probably has maybe an easier path because them winning the conference is going to be home games for them. First 3 games or so, it's going to be home. I think if Marion gets a 2 seed, they'll get at least one game at home. Maybe 2, depending on what happens on the other side of the bracket. Mr. Marvin Moody, good morning, sir. Kelvin Wims, welcome to the program. But, yeah, the Hawks are they're going to be a tough out. And they've overcome some things within their own conference. As far as Atlanta Collegiate last year, they were the obvious threat of anybody within the design zone winning that conference. They were so good last year. But Mullins beat them last year too. See, when I told people last year, when they were saying, oh, well, those guys didn't play when they were in Mullins. I don't care. Mullins beat them clean. I seen it last year. So, yes, Atlanta Collegiate's talent level does seem to be down somewhat. I don't know why. But this is the last year of this. Of course, Marion goes down to single A next year. Mullins goes down to single A. Atlanta Collegiate is out of this conference, which is good. But I think right now with Mullins, they have the confidence because they played a bunch of people during their schedule this year. They played a bunch of people who competition against could help them playoff time. So they played Berkeley, they played Burke, and those are 2 low country teams. And I guess, seasons have ended on trips down there to like Burke and places like that. So they're playing people that they feel can strengthen them, get them ready for what's to come. Douglas Blackwell? Wow. How you doing, old friend? So there you have it. That's it for Mullins. Now we have some other local teams here. Oh, we must mention the Mullins girls who, out of the 4 teams we have in the county right now, they've not done very well. Alex White, first-year head coach, trying to figure some things out. They finished at 3-16. At this point, they got 1 more game left. 1-10 in the region, and they've had some moments, but they had a couple of losses, at least 1 loss. The girl at Ladder, they went to Ladder. That was a huge loss for them. But, yeah, they didn't start the season well, and they didn't end it well either. They started the season with 3 straight losses. Then they won a game against Marion. Then they had 3 more straight losses. And then they won on the 23rd of December. Then they had 4 straight losses after that. And then they won one. Oh my God, this is such a pattern. Then they won one. And they lost 6 in a row. Wow. That's a tough pill to swallow right there. That'd be a tough pill to swallow for me. It'd be a tough pill to swallow for the kids as well. Because the team does have talent. They have some young talent on this team. But I guess with the combination of new head coach, new direction for the program, it didn't really work out this year. So they will not get a playoff berth this year, obviously, because they are in last place. And they had 1 conference win, obviously the Marion win, but they are 7th. And that does not bode well for... Hey, Terrell, here's that Nadia Shaw person you were talking about. I'm just looking at. Yeah, she's averaging 20 points a game. But that team's got a bunch of talent. But Nadia is also averaging 5 assists and 4.5 steals per game. So Nadia ain't no plaything, as they would say. Now, we have some other teams, our neighbors to the north, Dillon and Latta. And they, well, Latta's doing really well. Right? I'm going to tell you right now. But let's look at the Latta boys first. Latta boys are sporting a 14-4 record right now, 7-2 in the conference. And that makes them second. Let me take a look at their conference standing here. Yeah, man. Carvers Bay is leading the conference, followed by Latta with 2 losses. Carvers Bay, chances are this is over. They're 10-0 in the conference, and they got at least 3 games over Latta. Latta's 7-2. They're 10-0. You're not going to be able to catch up. So, Vikings are doing well. Chris Page is the head basketball coach there. Latta's playoff future looks bright, you could say. Akel Cross, what's up, my brother? Latta girls are the big story over there in Latta, even though the girls are doing fine and the record's pretty close. The girls are 15-3, 9-0 in the conference. That makes them first team in the conference. And but they got company because Lakeview is right there, breathing fire. Lakeview and Latta, great rivalry. Carvers Bay is third, followed by Green Sea, Hannah Pamplico, Hemingway, and Johnsonville. Taking a look over. Let me take a quick look here at the roster. I want to take a look at the roster so I can tell you about. They got some stars on their team, man. This girl, Kalia Herman, is a senior this year. Senior last year. Girl can flat play. Okay? Aaliyah Tisdale was the girl I said that left Mullins in a lurch when she went to Latta. That was a huge loss for them. She anchored their defense. She anchored their offense. She was aggressive. She was a youngster. Let me see what grade. Let's see something. Oh, my goodness. She's just in 10th grade. My goodness. 2 more years. This girl's not being there is going to haunt them. Oh, boy. Dillon, our other neighbors more to the north, 19-2, and they're unbeaten in the conference. Dillon is a team to watch. Treasure Davis, superstar, averaging 23.2 points per game. She and Nyla McKinnon, 18.7 points per game. And Zynel Purnell, 4.6 points per game. Field goal percentage, Treasure, 46%. Nyla, 40. And that little Purnell girl again, 32. So, Latta and Dillon are both really good this year. The girls are. The boys, Dillon's boys are not so good. They have had issues all year. This is like a rebuilding year for them. And I believe that, well, the people over there seem to think that they will be back next year. The Super Bowl is tomorrow. Who cares? I really don't. The Eagles not in it. Who cares? Right? The Patriots, I've always hated the Patriots. I can't ever root for them. I can't root for them now. Seattle, I can root for, but I hate their quarterback. I think he's a bum. And it's hard for me to root for them. But because of Sean Samuels up there in Seattle, the DJ for the Seattle Seahawks football team, he's the voice. I'll root for them. But anyway, that's all the time I have. I'll be back next week with more. Have a wonderful, safe week. Peace.